Okay, I want to go over how to use the TI to find these various uh, inverse trigs, so like arc sine, arc cosine. So the first three, arc sine, arc cosine, arc tangent, are pretty straightforward. The buttons are right above the sine, cosine, and tangent. So like for instance this one, and they're going to tell you, so to tell you they want the answer in radians, they're going to say, give the answer in 0 to 2 pi. If down here, this degree one, they said 0 to 360, and they'll usually do it this way to show they only want you to do one repeat. They will do it like that. Now, so this one's in radians, so first make sure you're in radians, and I'm not, so I'm going to switch back to radians. Okay, then I'm going to hit second sine, which gives me the arc sine, and then I'm going to put in whatever value they have, so 0.98337. And so my answer is negative 1.388 radians. This would be my answer. Now, and actually that's not right because that's not in 0 to 2 pi, is it? So then you'd have to adjust from there. So you remember your calculator, just like back when we were doing trig, it isn't always going to give you that first chunk that you want. So I'd look at that and go, okay, well, where is that? And so that's, let's see here. Let's divide by pi. It's like negative 0.44. I'm just, kind of guessing here where it's going here. So let's see here, negative 1.33, that's going backwards. And it hasn't gone all the way to 180 because 3 pi over 4. So I'd probably do negative 0.3888 plus 2 pi. Kind of get it lap forward here. And then that's within, I look at that and I go, okay, that's within my first thing. So that would be probably the answer they're looking for. So that's definitely something to consider as you're doing it here. Now this next one here, this one I'm just going to do it nested. So the sine of the arc cosine of 0.25 staying in radians, and there's my answer, 0.96 radians. Now this last one, first of all, I'm going to switch back to degrees before I forget. I can't just put this in. We're used to, okay, well, the secant is 1 over cosine. This isn't as simple. So when I look at this, I have secant of negative 1, which is, and I'm just going to write this out. I'll put the whole thing when I put it in. This really then is, this is telling me that I'm going to call this y. This is saying that the secant of y equals negative 0.5551. So then this is 1 over cosine y equals negative 0.511. So then to do this, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to flip this. So then the cosine of y equals negative 1 over 5.11. So then this is actually going to be the arc cosine of negative 1 over 5.11. So when you do this, this does not flip the same way the regular trig functions do. So when I go to put this into my calculator, I'm actually going to put this in as the arc cosine of negative 1 over 5.11. And this, 101 degrees, this is going to be my answer. So you need to be very careful with secant, cotangent, and cosecant because they don't flip the way we're used to them flipping to put into our calculator. So you always want to write it out like I did here before you put it into your calculator. So the first couple are really straightforward. The only thing you're going to watch for is like on that first one, well, hey, maybe I have to do an extra lap, something like that, so that I'm within the right period they've asked for. But it's pretty much just find the right buttons. But the three other ones, so cotangent, cosecant, and secant, you're going to have to be careful about how you put it in. You're going to want to do this handwork first and set it up so you're putting into your calculator correctly.